Hi everyone, welcome back to Live Darts TV. And after night one of the BetVictor World Matchplay, I think we're still in shock, Paul.
I really don't know what to say about it. It's one of those things that we've been talking about for the last more than 12 hours. Just thinking, what happened? I don't think there were many people who tipped Jeffrey to get more than 5 legs. I personally thought that Van Geel would probably win by 7 or 8. But last night, you've got to give Jeffrey a lot of credit. He stuck with Michael, and his doubles were brilliant. They were world class.
Yeah, definitely. I can't help but think something isn't quite right in the Van Gerwen camp at the moment. That's 5 TV tournaments in a row. He's crashed out.
Something's not clicking. Obviously, his European Tour form has been very, very good. We haven't seen him much on the Pro Tour, on the floor events. That's something that he's put into his schedule because it's so jam-packed with Premier League and World Series. And I think it was a smart move. But ultimately, I think Michael maybe isn't as sharp as he was, particularly around the Premier League time where he had that amazing final with Michael Smith and destroyed him. Maybe I would never accuse the world number one, Van Gerwen, of taking his foot off the gas and not putting the work in. But maybe something's just not quite right. I did say on the radio coverage last night that maybe because of the fact he's been using the same darts for the best part of a decade, maybe those darts have got to a certain weight where he can't rely on everything under pressure now, and maybe it's time for him to almost add some weight to the darts, like they were about 3 or 4 years ago when he was, I think, at his absolute peak. So it'll be interesting to see what he does from here.
Definitely. Well, moving on to today, we've got a double session at the Winter Gardens. The only afternoon session we've got starts off with an absolute cracker. We've got Darren Webster against Steve Lennon.
Yeah, Steve Lennon has been brilliant in 2018. I've been watching him play for the last 18 months. I've never beaten the kids. I said to him the last time he beat me, I said, I hate you, you just always get me. But he's almost like a very Darren Webster type player. He's very dogged, he keeps himself to himself. He does his own thing, and he's not bothered about what other people think of him. I think Steve Lennon is a dangerous player for the future, but today, Darren Webster, I think he really relishes the Blackpool stage, and he's earmarked this tournament as a real runner for him.
I had a chat to Darren Webster yesterday, and he's got a real grit between his teeth at the moment. I say he wants to go deep in this, and I think the experience on that stage will tell in the end. I think Steve will play well, but I think Darren might just have that a little bit too much going forward.
I can't really express how difficult it is to play up there your first time. Obviously, Jeffrey and Swan, he handled it pretty well. First time I went up there, I played Steve Beaton and got absolutely annihilated. Some people are like cat in headlights, and it takes a bit of time to get used to the atmosphere. I mean, last night the atmosphere was absolutely delightful. So if it's anything like that today for Steve Lennon, he's got a lot to adjust to. I think it actually works for him that he's playing on a Sunday afternoon in his first game, because it might be a little bit more quiet than a Saturday night. But ultimately, I do see Darren Webster winning this match. But Steve Lennon's gonna fight his heart out in this one.
Definitely. From there, we've got Ian White against Max Hopp. But this is quite an interesting game, I think.
It is, very much so, because Ian White's record against Max Hopp is not good. But he beat him the last time he played him. That's important. I think when they played each other in the European Tour recently, if Max had won that game and kept his undefeated record against Ian, I think it would have been a bigger mental hurdle for Ian White. But we've been talking about players like James Wade, Adrian Lewis, and others potentially for the title even before Van Gerwen went out. Who's to say that someone like Ian White can't have his week? He hasn't fulfilled his potential in majors. He knows that. And maybe it's time for him to have a run. And why not start that against someone who, historically, he hasn't had a great record against?
Definitely. Again, I think Ian will just nick this one. I say Max, since he won his European Tour, he's not quite hit those heights again. And again, coming here, not in amazing form. It's okay, but I think Ian just got a little bit more in the tank heading into today's game.
Yeah, they've played each other quite a bit lately, and both Ian and Max have played well against each other. I know that when Max was playing in Gibraltar, for instance, after he won the European Tour event, the German Darts Open, he showed some real stuff there in the heat, which I think is important, because with this being his debut at Blackpool, Max Hopp, I think it's important to see how players play in the heat. It's not going to be cold in there today,
No.
even in the afternoon. So knowing that Max can play in heat is very important. I think we could be in for a sneaky little classic between these two today.
Nice. I think it will go deep. So
yeah, I reckon 17, 18 legs.
Yeah, coin flip. I'm just going to edge Ian White just.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Then we go on to, again, a potential banana skin for a seed. We've got Gerwyn Price against Joe Cullen. Now, I feel for Gezi at the moment because that leg, you can see he's in bits. I know he says you don't throw darts with your leg, but all the pressure is on that back leg as he turns to get the darts, get them out the board, and he's struggling with that, I think.
Yeah, when something like that is in your way, it's almost like an innocuous injury that you can't avoid. And you want to do these natural things like spin away from the dartboard with your darts. You don't even have to look at it, it's just a natural thing. But when that changes, it changes everything. It changes your rhythm, your pace of play, and it all becomes a bit of an effort. It's not as natural. But Gezi's the kind of person, he keeps fighting. He's got a good record on this stage. He likes playing up there. Joe Cullen's probably going to go in, I think, as a marginal favourite, I think, because of the injury factor. But let's not forget about the fact that Joe Cullen hasn't really performed on the Blackpool stage before. So, and he wasn't even here last year, Joe Cullen. But will there be pressure on him to perform? Because these guys are constant seeds on the European Tour, so they play a lot of stage darts. I think this could be close. I'm very much sitting on the fence like I was with the Keegan Brown coin flip game last night, but that didn't turn out the way I expected it to either.
No, again, I think a fully fit Gezi, I think, beats Joe Cullen on the stage. But again, like we said, it's the injury. I don't know how Gezi is going to be in himself. Again, I think it will go deep, and like you say, I think it could be the finest margins that separate this game.
It could be, and I think obviously Joe is very comfortable having a little bit of razzmatazz around him now. He's adapted into the modern dart player, and I think if Joe has a bit of mojo about him today, and he gets a little bit of a jump on Gezi, I think if he can keep him quiet, I think he might win this game, Joe. I think that's the key for him.
Final game of the afternoon session, we've got Daryl Gurney against Steve West. Now again, I think this is going to be a lot closer than what the bookies are suggesting.
What are the bookies suggesting?
1-3 on Daryl Gurney.
That's wrong for me. I think Steve West, over the last couple of months, making a couple of semi-finals on the Euro Tour, showing some solid stuff on the stage. I mean, he's had his own little innocuous injury that he got in Gibraltar, but he's over that now. I spend a lot of time with Steve. He's one of my best friends, and you cannot think that Daryl Gurney's that much of a favourite in this match. I know that Gurney has done very well on the Blackpool stage before, last year, but Steve West is fabulously dangerous, especially on the score. And Daryl Gurney's not going to have it all his own way on the treble 20 in this match because he's not scoring as heavily as he was 12 months ago. But Steve West, I feel, is scoring probably better than he ever has. So it'd be very interesting to see where the confidence of both players lies going into this match. This could be really good.
Definitely. Again, I think Gurney might just nick it because Steve tends to miss crucial doubles at crucial times. I recently watching him, it's that one dart at tops, one dart at 16s that he needs to ping on the Gurney throw, which I think might lay him down.
Well, I'm going to go on the other side of the coin. I'm going to go for the upset here. I'm going to go for Westy just to nick this about 10-8, 10-7. But I think you're absolutely right. You're on the money with the key doubles. This could be the day that Westy has one of those really good days on tops. He leaves tops a lot, and when he pings it, it's usually in the middle. He doesn't go left or right. He gets it right dead in the middle. If he finds that dart and leaves it enough, he'll win this match.
Agreed. Well, that's the afternoon session, guys. I hope you enjoy it.